It's finally time, guys. It's finally time for the Sanji chapter we've all been waiting for. Next week, Sanji's about to go in on page one, or at least he better just completely crush him. Come on, Oda, come on, give me this, please. Hey guys, ForTheAfro reviews here, and today I'll be reviewing chapter 930 of One Piece, titled Ebisu Town, and that's where this chapter begins. In the Ebisu Town, it's another leftovers town, kind of like the other place in Korea, whose name I forget. There's a lot of Japanese names, I apologize, they're pretty hard to keep straight in my head, but yeah, it's another leftovers town, so they're all really poor, they're all starving, which is really sad. But in this town, everyone smiles, everyone's always happy. The difference between this village and the last leftovers village, though, is that in this village, everyone's happy and smiling and laughing all the time. And I think the difference here is, like what they were saying, is that humans are the only species capable of laughter, so it'd be a waste not to laugh. And that difference is like so apparent if you go back to the chapters with the last leftovers town, where the kid's crying to his mom, and that one lady was about to like kill her kid. There's a really dark panel. I don't know if you ever any of you saw that, but like it was a chapter where Luffy brought all the food to that leftover town. Yeah, a lady was about to murder her kid. It was pretty gruesome. But here, everyone's laughing. Some guy's tooth fell out from malnutrition, and he's just like laughing it off. So it's pretty. I thought it was pretty creepy. When I first read the chapter, I thought that it was something in the water. That kid Otoko, she had like a devil fruit that made everyone laugh because she made all the Straw Hats laugh, and I thought that like it was awakened and affecting this area. I don't know, but that didn't turn out to be the case. It turned out to just be a nice town of nice people. It was a little creepy on the first read when I didn't exactly understand what was going on, but upon the second read, I really like this whole scene. It's really kind of heartwarming, you know, because they have nothing and they're all dying and they're trying to keep themselves happy as long as they can because, you know, they only have one life. They offer Zoro some water, and he at first doesn't want to take it because, you know, they're like poor and stuff, and they only have this because of the witching hour boy, who I'll talk about in a second. But he eventually just says, okay, drinks it, and cracks a little smile, which is really heartwarming for the rest of the village, you know, and everything. Like, they all offered him stuff, and Zoro was nice enough to take it. Now, the witching hour boy they mentioned takes from the rich and gives to the poor. It's basically Robin Hood of Wano, but he specifically came to this village, and I'm hoping he's one of the samurai that we're trying to recruit here, and that Zoro will recruit him, because Zoro hasn't done anything relevant yet at all. These don't, like, not for the cause at least. Like, it's kind of like, come on, Zoro, you've been here longer than anyone. You haven't done shit. So I'm hoping he recruits this witching hour kid, or that it's an interesting character and they interact at the very least. The next scene threw me off. Did not expect this early in Act 2 of Wano, but Big Mom's here. Big Mom showed up. She is at Wano. She's climbing up with the koi, and I was super excited to see this. Don't get me wrong, it was amazing, but like, wow, was anyone else just thrown off by how random this was? Anyway, Kaido's freaking out. He does not want Big Mom in here. He's not ready for an all-out war with her yet, implying that he doesn't necessarily not want a war. It's just like he's not ready to have one at the top of the waterfall right now. Like, it's just not the right time. So Big Mom used her information gathering network to learn, you know, how to get into Wano, which I really like that they did a callback to that, because they mentioned how she was so good at gathering intel beforehand. Kaido is shooting cannons and well, Kaido isn't doing it himself, but Kaido's men are shooting a bunch of cannons and stuff from those big rocks we saw entering Wano, and none of them are hitting at all. Like, Big Mom brought a lot of her children, and they're all blocking it. Like Paris Sparrow and Smoothie are two really good examples that we saw. They're just blocking all the cannon fire. It's, you know, what a cannon's gonna do against high-tier pirates. They start climbing the waterfall and stuff. They get to the top, and they're about to enter Wano, and that's when we see King. King flies out of nowhere, and it turns out that he's a pterodon. He still has fire and stuff going on. You know, he's King the Wildfire, so I'm guessing technology maybe implemented into a suit for fire abilities, or maybe it's awakened and he gets fire because it says that it's an ancient dragon fruit. I'm not sure exactly, but we do know that he's a pterodon, and that he's insanely physically strong, because the whole ship, the Big Mom Chanter, I think it's called. Ah, crap, I should know that. But Big Mom ship, Big Mom's main flagship, he just knocks it straight off the waterfall, just runs right into it and knocks it off. So that was intense. The pterodon fruit's nothing to mess with. It's not pterodactyl. I almost made that mistake before I made the review. I'm glad I reread the chapter, because it's a pterodon, not a pterodactyl. Those are bigger, I guess, or something. So yeah, that happened. He's a pterodon. We now know 2 of the Calamity's devil fruits. They were both ancient Zoans, so I'm assuming that Queen also has an ancient Zoan. We just haven't seen it yet. Interesting to note is that the children that Big Mom brought, she brought like Smoothie and Sparrow and Compote and Flampe. She brought Flampe, of course. Mont Dior's there, who I really like. So, you know, there's a couple pretty good ones that we've seen some development for already, but there's notable absences, such as we don't see Cracker, except on the cover page. We don't see Katakuri at all, and I'm assuming that she left behind some of these big hitters because someone needs to protect Whole Cake Island. You know, if Blackbeard wanted the Poneglyph right now, he could go and get the Poneglyph. You know, he's a freaking Yonko as well. I don't, like, with Katakuri there, though, they might be able to protect that while Big Mom's doing this, and Big Mom's, like, really hell-bent on getting the Straw Hat, so she's gonna do this. So Katakuri, either, he might even decide himself to be like, you know, I'll stay here. Okay, Big Mom, you're insane. You shouldn't be leaving. I can see that being a thing, because Big Mom's in a fit of rage, and she's not always exactly rational. The last sequence of the chapter is basically just Sanji, and he's going in to fight Page 1. Law and all of them are saying you shouldn't, or basically just Law saying like you shouldn't interfere. If any of you guys get captured, just let yourselves be killed. You're gonna get tortured. Don't spill the beans. And Usopp responds that like that's a very un-Luffy-like thing to say, and Law's like, oh, I'm more deadpan. I'm more realistic here. And I like that Usopp tries tricking Sanji into protecting him, because he's like, oh, I'm just gonna spill the beans immediately. Sanji's like, well, fuck, I won't let you get captured then. So that was a funny little gag. But the real meat and potatoes of the sequence is when Sanji comes in and kicks Page 1. So Page 1's just destroying all these soba stands one by one. He's eating all the soba, which is better than wasting it, I suppose, because Sanji would be even more upset than he already is. But he's destroying these soba stands, ruining these people's livelihoods, and he's just saying, because, like, you're a soba stand, Sangaro had a soba stand, it all adds up to me, like, where is he? And they're like, we have no idea, we're not related to Sangoro, but he just, like, shout for him then, like, do something, like, make him show up, being completely unreasonable, like all of these pirates have been so far. So Sanji comes out of nowhere, flies through the sky, and just kicks the shit out of Page 1. It was glorious, and I want more of it already. The chapter ends with Law talking and like, you can't get discovered, dude, like, we can't, like, lose our battle power, and Sanji's like, well, I know conserving our battle power is important, but dwindling theirs is just as good. So he's like, I will win this fight without getting hurt and without getting figured out, and he's throwing up his raid suit at the end. So that's happening way earlier than I thought. It's just like Big Mom's, way earlier in the arc than I thought this would happen. I thought he'd be forced to use it, but it seems he's using it for disguise rather than just using it all out, like in an all-out fight. Like, I have no other option. Like, I need to be stronger. He's like, I think he's confident in his fighting ability to beat Page 1 to begin with. It's just like he wants to do it without getting hurt and without getting found out really quickly. So he's like, screw it, I'll use this. Now let's state the obvious. I'm a little afraid his raid suit's gonna be super lame looking. It'd be hilarious, don't get me wrong, I'd laugh. I'm thinking it's pretty funny thinking about right now if it's just like a dress or something, or like it just says loser, or, you know, something hilarious, but come on. Sanji's got enough elves. Let's give him a cool raid suit, Oda. Come on, please. We'll find out next chapter. Unfortunately, it's on break next week, so we gotta wait, but we will find that out soon, and I am very stoked, because it looks like we're probably gonna start off right with that fight. Like, it ended on the cliffhanger with the battle, and that usually with those kind of things, like, we at least get part of the fight next chapter. So I'm hoping we see the transformation, and that's a badass raid suit, and nothing more I can really hope for than that. I'm also really interested going forward, seeing where Big Mom ends up, just because, you know, she got wrecked and she's in the water now from her ship getting knocked over. So who knows when she's gonna reappear, you know, where she's gonna pop up in Wano. That will be really interesting to see. Other than that, pretty much does it for me. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video at all, and yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.